Coach, just what have you seen 10 practices in from your group, including those scrimmages?
Yeah, it's been really good. Honestly, a lot of new faces, a couple guys back, but new guys have done such a good job as far as learning the system, operating, playing free and fast, made a bunch of plays. I've been really pleased with how they've worked and what they've done so far.
Patrick?
Coach, you're now in your second year as a full-time assistant on the side. What is something you kind of took from your first year that you're trying to use now as a coach that's you feel maybe is already helping you out, whether it's coaching your players, recruiting, anything?
Yeah, I think, in coaching in particular, like for me this offseason, there was such an emphasis in growing in the route and wanting to get better in that area. Obviously, everybody knows I've been an O-line guy, but really wanting to be elite in that area. So that's been a huge focus for me, and we've got really talented guys that could put a bunch of that stuff on the field. Recruiting-wise, man, sleeping a little bit better, got some good one in the boat, and it's this offseason, obviously with the December calendar, it's a little bit different than it used to be, and that was a crazy month, but we've got a great room of guys after it.
Austin and Adam.
Obviously, Holden came in with a lot of acclaim to him out of the portal, but Miles Gibson kind of slipped in under the radar after the fact. What have you seen out of him that's impressed you this spring?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Miles. All that guy does is work. We knew he'd stick his face on people. We knew he'd be physical. I think what he's done in space has been not necessarily a surprise, but really pleasant. Done a really good job for us and just works his butt off every day. Having two guys come in that are both everything you want, it's been really cool.
From what you saw on film of Holden, how was that translated? Like if you see him practice, what you saw on film for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, on the tape, you saw a guy that made a bunch of plays, a guy that played really fast, has elite hands, understands space. I think as we do a little bit different stuff in the scheme side of it, both run and pass, he's learning and adjusting to that, but he's done a great job. As far as just the raw speed, the hands, ability to make plays in space, he's been everything you saw on tape.
Vince.
What have been the areas of progression for Ethan Davis?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot last year. Ethan would flash all the time, but he was 225, and in this league, doing some of the things we ask guys to do, that stuff, and at the same time, learning the new system, adjusting to the speed of the game at this level. This spring, he's done such a great job, one, getting his body right. I think he was 242 last week, and he's so comfortable now with where to be, what to do. There's still a detail in everything that he's got to continue to clean up, but I've told him this, he's going to be an elite player in the core. He's got so much twitch, pop, he's not scared of anything. As he continues to get better with the fundamentals of it, he's going to be really, really good.
Ryan and Caleb.
You're seeing the tight ends kind of be very versatile in this offense. How comfortable are you with this group and their versatility lineup as H-backs and stuff like that?
Yeah, really comfortable. We'll see if anybody can carry the ball here the way Princeton did. But, as far as what gets put on our plate, being out in space and being in the box, being in the pro, running some really deep routes, like there's a lot that's asked of those guys. And the challenge is finding guys that can do all of that, where you're not having to call certain things when certain guys are in. I feel like we've got that in our room.
You lose two veterans from last season. Who have you seen stand up and kind of be the voice in the meeting room?
Yeah, I think for the transfers coming in, there's a maturity level of they've been in rooms, they've been at places where they know what it kind of looks like, and it's always a little bit awkward for you when you're stepping in a new place where you want to lead, you want to be a veteran voice, but you're also gaining the respect and trust of your teammates. I can't give enough credit to Titus Rohr and Charlie Browder for the role they've had in our room, just as far as helping bring those guys along, kind of showing those guys the way that we do things a little bit different here. But really, it's different than last year where you had two guys that were clearly the old heads and then a bunch of young guys. Man, I hope everybody in my room can be a leader, and not just with how they act, but by how they bring each other up.
Eric and Brent.
It's kind of been a two-man show at the tight position since you guys have been here, but coaches made the comments on saying you really need three. How close do you think you are to having three guys that can play all the sounds for you?
Yeah, they've all got stuff to improve on and stuff to work on, but I do feel like we're in the right direction there for sure, which is really exciting.
Last spring, McCollum talked about just how challenging it was to learn this offense and how much Jacob helped him. With the changeover you had, the turnover you had, were you you thought you would be with this group heading into the last part of spring here? Are you ahead, behind? Where do you think you are, this group in general, with their development?
I don't wanna crown them too early, but they're doing a really good job. I think, McAllen was probably on the curve that most guys are on, where it is a spring of just trying to learn how to operate, and there's a lot going on, and it's happening really fast. Without, getting their egos too inflated, the two new guys that have come in are really, really ahead of schedule in terms of where I thought they would be, just the ability to line up, process, and play. And we probably put more on their plates because of their ability to learn so fast.
Last two, Vince, then Adam.
What kind of presence do you feel and see from Nico with your group of tight ends just communicating and working together on offense?
Yeah, I think he stepped up in a big way. The guys love Nico, they trust Nico. He's, a different, more like Hendon in terms of how he approaches the guys and just the conversations they have. He's been awesome with our group.
With Kitzelman, when you guys brought him in, it looked like an obvious guy that would be just a blocking tight end. Has anything surprised you about him as a pass catcher, as a route runner?
Yeah, I gotta give credit to Cody Cook. He was a guy with us last year, and he coached Miles at Hutch and was telling me, on tape, this is kind of what we can see, and there wasn't a lot of evidence of the other piece of that equation. And he stood on the table and said, listen, man, I coached this guy for 2 years. I know what he can do. And Cody's an elite receivers coach. And that skill set, you can tell he's been coached by Cody, because there's a lot of stuff that's showing up on tape that's really, really good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.